Another colleague of ours is watching events. Thabiso Sithole comes in now. Very good morning to you, Thabiso. What's happening where you are?
Good morning, Desiree. Good morning to our viewers. In fact, just to update Hasina, I hope she can still hears me. In a couple of minutes' time, she'll see about vans of police officers, maybe 2 or 3 of them, who will be taking or bringing in anyway arrestees. Just behind me is a scene where about 12 people were arrested. The community around us saying there were zamas. In fact, about 2 hours ago, that's where the drama unfolded here in Witpoortjie, which is on the right-hand side of myself, where I live. We got a call from schools around the area saying we must come pick up our children because there were zamas that were roaming the streets. In fact, indeed, we did hear there was a shootout for about a good half an hour or so. Then when that happened, the community, from Krugersdorp, because on the left-hand side of myself is Krugersdorp, they came out to their numbers and basically went in and chased those zamas, got into the holes, the abandoned mine shaft or holes that they were in, and dragged them out. There are visuals that I've sent to the office. Some of them are gruesome. Some of them are of pictures of those people, these zamas, the less zamas, let's put it that way for now, being beaten up. But as Asina was saying, that police are getting their way to where they are going now, where she is now, assuming closer to the Krugersdorp police station. I can tell you now that 3 of those vans left about 5 minutes ago from my location going to where Asina might be. And in that van, about 12 or so zamas, all of them being stripped down naked, beaten up by the community. And they said they're sick and tired of the situation that has unfolded. They want them out of their communities. A lot of them, I'm assuming that they interrogated them. A lot of them, the zamas speaking in Portuguese. Some of them, I'm assuming that some of them are Mozambican, but we don't want to make assertions for now. But it does seem that the community have taken the law into their hands when it comes to zamas in this area. As I get out of shot for now, this street has been blocked off. As you can see, the cars are, they're trying to make their way through, but on that side, on the far side of the camera, that is where the Chamdo area, I can call, or towards Krugersdorp, there's a BP garage there. And on behind the camera is what we call Krugersdorp, Mindelo area. And that is where all the action unfolded in the early hours of the morning. In fact, just barely 20 minutes ago, I've sent those pictures through to the office, and I'm sure we'll be able to play it for our viewers to update them on how and what has been happening so far. Desiree?
Thabiso, just tell us some more about these zamas who you say are roaming the streets. I know you say you don't want to be presumptuous about their intentions, but how was that interaction? Was there any violence involved, or were they just walking the streets? And do we know what point they were trying to make?
In fact, as I was saying, we got, as parents in the community, in the area, we received text messages in our warning groups around the area saying, go and pick up your children from school. There are zamas behind a school called Bastion High School. It's on my right-hand side. In fact, I'll try and pan the camera this way a little bit. You'll see the smoke bellowing on the far side, just on the horizon. Ooh, apologies. I hope you still have me as we try and deal with technology. But there's a fire bellowing just on the other side. A lot of the community members ran that side of where the fire is. In fact, on the other side of that is exactly where the other community, which is called Witpoortjie, a suburb is called Witpoortjie, is located. So that's where some of us live. We got a message this morning around 2 hours ago saying, look, the school is being evacuated. There are zamas in the area which were behind the school. Please come and pick up your kids. So frantically, unfortunately, I don't have a kid in high school, but I've got a 4-year-old who is in nursery not too far from their school. So I went there. In fact, when I got there, the teachers themselves were asking me to assist in going to drop off other kids around the neighborhood. And I said, unfortunately, I cannot take the risk of taking somebody else's child in my vehicle if something happens. So when we came out, when I called the officer and said, look, something is happening.
Thabiso, are you still there? I don't know. We're looking at footage that you have sent through this morning, and we just want to warn some viewers, especially sensitive viewers, of the graphic nature of these footage that we're looking at. Just talk us through what was happening at that time. We see people being pushed into a police van. It looked a bit hectic. What was happening?
Indeed. So what happened, Desiree? So I spoke to some of the community members. They said, look, they heard the gunshots ring out. They then came out and tried to figure out themselves what is happening. When they realized that it was the zamas, and obviously there was a shootout with the police, they said, look, we're tired, we're sick and tired. And I'm assuming, as Asina's been reporting, in Krugersdorp, in central Krugersdorp itself, there are road blockades where people are saying, look, get these people out of our communities. So people around here came out. they basically hunted them down, is what they told me. They went into the shafts that they know that they're hiding. And frankly, they're saying this should have been done a long time ago. They went in physically and dragged them out, stripped them of their clothes, beat them up, as you can see possibly in those videos. And it is what a situation of disbelief, if I can put it that way, being somebody who lives in this area. And I remember you were speaking yesterday to colleague Griselda Lewis, and he says, the brazenness of the zamas, who, it seems as if they can do as if they wish because the police are not up to the task. Whether this is the beginning of the end of the so-called zamas, well, the SABC will continue pushing forward and rooting them out of communities such as this. Desiree, it's something we'll have to wait and see. Desiree?
Thabiso, give us a sense of your own lived experience, both before the rape incident last week and what it's been like since.
Look, I live not too far from where the incident happened. And when I first saw it in the morning, I was speaking to the wife. We've got a 10-year-old daughter who's in primary school. And the first fear that we have, and we've always had this fear, and I'm sure a lot of parents in South Africa have this fear, the kids like to walk to the tuck shop. We've always said, no, nobody goes to tuck shop. You buy whatever you need, keep it in the house. So when you know that you're not too far from where you live, so many people were sexually assaulted, and you have to wake up in the morning, drop that kid off to school, and hope that when they come back from school, they make it home just fine. It's not only a Thabiso issue or an issue of the families that suffered the incidents of the rape incidents last week, but I think it's a South African problem, and I think all of us are living in fear right now, Desiree. And whether it's the zamas or whether it's pure criminality, the question I think all of us would like to know is where's the rule of law more than anything? Because if we, all adhere to the rule of law, maybe such things should not happen. It's a societal issue that I think we need to deal with most importantly, but it is scary. I coming here as well, saying to the wife, I'm going out. And she said, no, please do not go, because we could hear the gunshots ring out. But as the job calls, we have to come out and make sure that South Africans are well represented and knowing exactly what happens where they live. Desiree?
Of course, the big story we were talking about today was the mooted shut down, and you talking about the blockade in that road where you are. How is that affecting movement?
Well, look, I think for now, if I'll try, it's a picture that on that side of me in front of the camera, the sun is in the way, and knowing television, don't shoot against the sun. But I'll try and see if I can't get a better shot. There are trucks behind that intersection there. That intersection goes towards Krugersdorp town. So those trucks normally make their way around to the Clampdown area, which is on the back of myself. As I try and bring the camera again to the right-hand side, I see a police Inyala now going into the field where I said there was burning incidents there. The police Inyala going down there to the field. Hopefully, I think they're just going to go and see what is going on there. As it stands, some vehicles are being let out behind me, but there's still brush, and as far as the ground is concerned on the road, you can see security companies are still there trying to, because most of the areas here, there's lots of security companies. I think they are the ones who came out first, actually the security companies, to try and chase down these zamas. So they're still on the road. They're trying to clear things out for now. So I think the movement will be stagnated a bit because the community feels that there are still people within that area on the right-hand side of me, zamas or whoever they feel needs to be caught. And once again, as I spoke to some of the young men and ladies who were out here, they were saying, all of them, they must go. Root them out, we're going to find them in every hole that they're hiding in.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure that they leave our communities.
Thabiso, I don't know if you're able to speak for your fellow residents, but is there a sense now that finally something is being done about the high levels of criminality around that area as a result of the activity of zamas there?
Well, the one thing, Desiree, that's the young man that I spoke to earlier, he said they came out here as a community because they're sick and tired of the situation. Whether it's a sense of, like I said earlier, taking issues in their own hands, saying, look, the police are not doing enough. I think it's still early days. We know, as I said, when you had the discussion with Griselda yesterday, the question is, in fact, I heard one of the security company, speaking to the police, saying, but this should have happened a long time ago. So people are aware that these zamas are in these holes. It's a question of then why is nobody doing anything about it? whether this will be a continued effort by a lot of the residents of this area, we wait to see. But as it stands, if what I'm getting from Hasina is correct, then it looks like this will be for somewhat of a war of attrition, won't it be? Until they feel, well, communities anyway feel that they are safe enough, they're happy with what's going on in their communities, it might stop, it might continue. And again, we saw a release or a statement coming from the government of Lesotho, I think that was yesterday, saying that they're worried about the murmurs, that it's their nationals who are being linked to the zamas, who are linked to the rapes that happened or linked to criminality. So, and their fear is they do not want another situation of xenophobic attacks. So it's a question of where does, well, we need to be led, isn't it? We need some sort of leadership to come out and say, look, we've got this handled in as far as South African Police Service is concerned, and we'll take the cue from there as South Africa, we, as the community, we'll take the cue from there. If they're seen to be doing something, hopefully we'll take them at their word and let them do their job. Or maybe we should be seeing more of these sporadic incidents such as these going on, as I said, around this area. Desiree?
Thabiso, do we perhaps have any update on those zamas who were gathering up behind a school? What's the situation there? Have they been dispersed? What's the way forward?
Well, Desiree, as I'm saying, as far as I'm concerned, I understand those were chased to this venue where I was. In fact, there was a hole right there. Some of the guys, the community members are still there. They were chased to that area where you can see some of the community members are coming out. What happened there? They got into holes underneath there, and the community members chased them in there and dragged them out. Those are the people I was saying earlier that Hasina should look out for at the Kagiso police station. I did speak to South African Police Services before they left, and they said they're going straight to Kagiso. I'm assuming that's where you'll get the better story, the fuller story of exactly what has happened to those. As you can see, this is just some of the community members making their way from the scene as they chased through those zamas. Desiree?
Thabiso, thank you so much for giving us a sense of what's happening there. Of course, it's a developing story, and just out of that a rape, multiple rape, a gang rape incident that happened last week, many more stories coming out, and the community taking advantage of this opportunity to try and vent their frustrations at the South African Police Service's non-responsiveness to the rising levels of crime in that area.